Imagine discovering an ancient scroll that fills in the gaps of some of the Bible's most mysterious stories. That's exactly what the Genesis Apocryphon is, a text that expands on the early chapters of Genesis, giving us new insights into the lives of Noah, Abraham, and other key figures. Today, we're diving into this fascinating document, exploring its stories, and uncovering what it reveals about the world of the Bible. Let's begin. The Genesis Apocryphon is one of the Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered in the mid-20th century near Qumran. Written in Aramaic, it dates back to the 1st century BCE and offers a retelling of stories from Genesis, particularly focusing on Noah and Abraham. But this isn't just a simple retelling. The Genesis Apocryphon fills in gaps, adds details, and even introduces new perspectives on familiar stories. It's like a director's cut of Genesis, giving us a deeper look into the lives of these biblical heroes. One of the most detailed sections of the Genesis Apocryphon focuses on Noah. While the Bible tells us about the flood and the ark, this text gives us Noah's first-person account. Noah describes a dream he had before the flood, where he sees the earth being destroyed and a great tree, symbolizing his family being saved. This dream confirms his role as the one who will preserve humanity. The text also adds vivid details about the flood itself. Noah describes the chaos, the cries of the people, and the overwhelming power of the waters. It's a dramatic, emotional retelling that brings the story to life in a whole new way. Another major focus of the Genesis Apocryphon is Abraham. The text expands on his journey to Egypt, a story that's only briefly mentioned in Genesis. According to the Genesis Apocryphon, Abraham has a dream warning him about the dangers of Egypt. But when he arrives, he uses his wisdom to protect his wife, Sarah. He tells Pharaoh that Sarah is his sister, a detail we know from Genesis. But here we get more context. The text describes Sarah's beauty in poetic detail, explaining why Pharaoh is so captivated by her. It also shows Abraham's distress and his prayers for God's intervention. When Pharaoh takes Sarah into his household, God sends a plague to punish him. Pharaoh eventually realizes the truth and returns Sarah to Abraham, rewarding him with wealth and sending him on his way. This expanded version not only adds drama, but also highlights Abraham's faith and God's protection. So why does the Genesis Apocryphon matter? Because it fills in gaps that the Bible leaves open. For example, in Genesis, we're told that Noah was a righteous man, but we don't get much about his thoughts or emotions. The Genesis Apocryphon gives us Noah's perspective, making him a more relatable and human figure. Similarly, the story of Abraham and Sarah in Egypt is brief in Genesis, but the Genesis Apocryphon adds layers of detail, showing us Abraham's fears, Sarah's beauty, and God's direct intervention. These additions help us understand the characters and their faith on a deeper level. The Genesis Apocryphon isn't just about adding details, it's about reinforcing key themes. One major theme is God's faithfulness. Whether it's Noah surviving the flood or Abraham being protected in Egypt, the text emphasizes that God keeps his promises and protects those who trust in him. Another theme is the importance of righteousness. Noah is described as blameless, and Abraham's wisdom and faith are highlighted. These stories remind us that living a life of integrity and trust in God leads to blessing and deliverance. The Genesis Apocryphon doesn't just stand alone, it connects to the broader narrative of the Old Testament. Noah's story sets the stage for God's covenant with humanity, while Abraham's journey foreshadows the formation of Israel as God's chosen people. These stories also echo themes we see later in the Bible, like God's judgment and mercy, the importance of faith, and the power of prayer. The Genesis Apocryphon helps us see these connections more clearly, enriching our understanding of the biblical narrative. The Genesis Apocryphon is more than just an ancient text. It's a window into the world of the Bible, helping us see familiar stories in a new light. It challenges us to dig deeper, ask questions, and explore the richness of Scripture. So what do you think? Does this expanded version of Noah and Abraham's stories change how you see them? How does it inspire you in your own faith journey? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Genesis Apocryphon, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.